TGON TVH Group of Networks.
Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan.
Cool FM! You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is Cool News at 6.
Good evening, this is Cool News at 6. I'm Carl. Let's get into the headlines for this hour. Senate Majority Leader Francis Tolentino on Monday brought up the fiscal problems the province faces after the Supreme Court ruled the validity of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao Organic Law and finally dropped Sulu from the region. Acknowledging the national government's lack of anticipation of the High Court's ruling that the province of Sulu is not part of the Barnam, Tolentino said the consequence is the difficulty of funding Barnam offices in the detached province. The lawmaker was reacting to Sulu Governor Abdul Sakur Tan's report that employees of the Barnum offices in his office were already informed of the last salary until September 10. Tan also reported that the Barnum offices in the province lack funds to sustain operations, including rentals and utilities, which the Sulu provincial government cannot shoulder. Tolentino assured the governor of his continuing quest to resolve the issue while budget hearings on national agencies are ongoing in Congress. He said he has always asked the department during the budget hearing how they could help the province of Sulu, whose funding from the Barnum, where it once belonged, would be stopped. However, Tolentino said the departments of Interior and Local Government and Science and Technology were unable to insert to assist Sulu province in the previous budget hearings. He said that during the DILG budget hearing, he asked to which region the Philippine National Police in Sulu now belongs after the province was rendered without a region with the High Court's ruling. Tolentino shared that the PNP told him that the PNP in Sulu would be placed under Region 9 or the Zamboanga Peninsula, which Tan said was the regional unit in common before the Barnum. Questions surrounding its cash aid assistance called Ayuda sa Kapos, ang Kita program have haunted the Department of Social Welfare and Development. This time it was Senate Minority Leader Quino Coco Pimentel III who asked about the AKAP when the DSWD presented its proposed 2025 budget before the Senate Subcommittee on Finance. What is that? Is that a purely Ayuda cash aid program or also just an assistance program which requires some return from the beneficiary? Pimentel initially asked. Social Welfare Secretary Lex Gatchalian likened the AKAP to the DSWD's other cash aid program, assistance to individuals in crisis situations. By its name, it's for those who have insufficient income. It's a social welfare program. It does not impose any conditions and it does not aim to change behaviors. It's really on the social welfare side, Gatchalian explained. But if it's like the AICS program, then how come senators were not aware of it? Pimentel asked. How come AKAP seems to be invisible to us? We have not been invited to any AKAP or cash distribution. If it's like AICS, it must be also like a distribution. How come it is invisible to senators, unlike AICS, which is visible to senators? He further asked. Gatchalian pointed out that the DSWD's activities, including AKAP payouts, were published on its social media accounts. But how come the level of involvement of senators in the AKAP program is yung close to nothing, if not negligible when compared to AICS? Pimentel asked again. If it's like AICS, how come it's in its implementation it's so different from AICS? As far as senators are concerned, it's like a secret, invisible, off-limits program. Bucket. I don't understand, he added. Senator Amy Marcos recalled the Senate being accused of having participated in the approval of the 26.7 billion pesos budget for the outcome when they affixed their signatures to the 2024 General Appropriations Act. But in truth and in fact, we are never made aware of this program and it was never requested in the first place by the DSWD, she pointed out during the same hearing. In February, Marcos claimed that the funding for ACAP only appeared in the final version of the 2024 General Appropriations Act as it was not included in Malacanang's original proposal or even in the bicameral report of the Senate and the House of Representatives. She then suspected that the ACAP funding was used to entice Filipinos to participate in the aborted signature drive for charter change. Pimentel insisted that, unlike AICS, ACAP seems to be a secret program. He voted to take up the issue when deliberations on DSWD's budget reached the Senate floor. Gatchalian meanwhile hopes Congress will still retain the line item for the ACAP in the 2025 budget. It was not clear during the hearing if the DSWD specifically asked for ACAP funding in its proposed budget next year. The Philippine National Police is considering conducting a rescue operation in the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao City to find other alleged victims of Apollo Kibuloy, the self-proclaimed opponent son of God and KGC leader. PNP spokesperson Colonel Juan Farjado on Monday said there are other purported victims in the KGC compound, but they are afraid to come forward due to the fear of the angels of death to turn from Kibuloy's alleged armed men. The possible rescue operation is being discussed because, according to the victims, they have friends and acquaintances inside the organization who remain in the compound and are still afraid, Farjado said in the press conference. Farjado said the PNP now has the personal information of the purported victims inside the KGC compound, which was provided by the other alleged victims of Kibuloy. Farjado also appealed to the alleged victims to seek the help of those who are now outside the KGC compound. To those who are still inside the compound, they could cooperate with their acquaintances outside so they could be rescued, she said. The PNP is currently coordinating with the Department of Social Welfare and Development in handling the case. On Thursday, Farjado revealed that the angels of death that Kibuloy allegedly threatened his sexual abuse victims with are not spiritual beings but are men based on the testimonies of his alleged victims. Kibuloy allegedly warned the victims, some as young as 12 years old, that an angel of death, quote-unquote, would get them if they break the code of secrecy regarding the religious leaders' alleged sexual crimes, Farjado said. Kibuloy and his subordinates Jacqueline Roy, Ingrid Canada, Celestine Canada, and Sofia Samanes were arrested last September 8 in the KGC compound, ending the 2,000-strong police operation there, which began on August 24. The four co-accused had been detained in the PNP Coastal Center until Friday before being transferred to Pasig City Jail. Kibuloy, whose counsel petition for a hospital arrest remains in the PNP Coastal Center. One of the suspects, Pauline Canada, was the first to be arrested in July and is now detained in Pasig City Jail. Kibuloy and the other suspects pleaded not guilty for human trafficking and child abuse cases filed before the Pasig City and Quezon City courts, respectively. And a lawyer asked the Supreme Court on Monday to nullify a Commission on Elections COMELEC rule allowing public officials to hold office even after they were nominated as candidates of partyless groups. In his 28-page petition, election lawyer Romulo Macalintal asked the Supreme Court to declare null and void Section 11, Rule 2 of COMELEC Resolution No. 11045, dated August 28 this year for being unconstitutional. According to Macalintal, such rule violates Section 4, Article 9b of the Constitution and existing jurisprudence that no officer of the civil service shall engage directly or indirectly in any electioneering or partisan political activity. He likewise asked the Supreme Court to issue a temporary restraining order or status quo order directing the COMELEC to cease and desist from implementing the said rule. Citing an example, Macalintal mentioned the Quinto versus COMELEC case in 2010 when the executive secretary or the chairman and commissioners of COMELEC as well as the regional directors, provincial election supervisors, and election officers may run as party list nominees while they are supervising the elections and will act as chairpersons of the various boards of canvassers of votes for party lists. It is now it is now 6:10 in the evening, and Cool News at 6. We'll be right back. 18 in the evening, and you're still with us right here on Cool News at 6. Let's continue with the headlines. Over 2.2 million pesos worth of rooftop solar panels for the electrification of Gamot Integrated School in Sito Gamot, Barangay Santa Filomena, Quezon, Bukidnon were installed by Vivant Energy through its retail electricity unit, Cornergy, in partnership with Vivant Foundation. The project was implemented in collaboration with Bukidnon Power Corporation and North Bukidnon Power Corporation as a part of Vivan Energy's response to the Department of Education's call for private sectors to aid the transition of the educational landscape in the country. The project is a significant milestone for VFI. Its executive director, Shem Joseph Garcia, highlighted as it marked the first mountain school and the second indigenous people community to benefit from the Foundation's solar energization program. The project is part of Project Lidlaw, one of VFI's broader efforts to address the digital divide and provide essential service to off-grid communities. Ongoing to Barangay Santa Filomena Chairman Ferdinand Silvestres, the VFI's grant would contribute towards giving more students inside classrooms. Before the installation of the solar panels for Vivant, it would take the whole day for our students to reach the town proper to access electricity. The situation back then was really challenging, which led to students not pursuing education, said Silvestres. Finally, we are graced by this opportunity. We are beyond grateful for this project, which will pave the way for our learners to have access to e-learning materials and make their education more effective, he added. The installed solar panels generate 12.1 kilowatt peak of electricity, providing sufficient supply to power Gamot Integrated School throughout an entire day. Enabled by a steady supply of power through its new solar energy installation, the school was also awarded with free internet connection via Starlink through an initiative by the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Because of this project, we now have access to modern-day learning technologies that could help introduce our young learners to the modern world, said Quezon, Bukidnon Mayor Apollo Lorenzo III. To date, the Project Lao has electrified 21 off-grid schools around the Philippines, and VFI plans to continue expanding its solar electrification program to reach more remote schools. Additionally, the Foundation is working with DepEd and the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority to develop an upgraded version of the electrical installation and maintenance curriculum to incorporate solar technology, ensuring the sustainability and maintenance of solar energization projects. As technology improves, more often than not, our remote communities get left behind. Our situation will bring modern technologies that address inequalities that remote communities, including our indigenous brothers, face in catching up with the modern world. At Vivant, our ethos is to create solutions for our changing world. VFI Executive Director Shem Jose Garcia concluded. Let's get into the international headlines now, as U.S. media named Ryan Wesley Root, whose AMP interviewed in Kyiv in 2022, where he had traveled to support the war effort, as the suspected will be assassin of Donald Trump. U.S. media said it was Root, age 50, who was arrested after U.S. Secret Service agents opened fire on a gunman carrying an AK-47 style rifle near the boundary of Trump's Florida golf course, where the former president was golfing on Sunday. The suspect had bolted out of the shrubbery he had been hiding in and escaped in a black car before he was struck down by authorities. CNN and CBS reported Root was a self-employed affordable housing builder in Hawaii who had an arrest record spanning decades and regularly posted on politics and current events, including sometimes criticizing Trump the Republican presidential candidate. One cost Root expressed support for was Ukraine's fight against Russia's invasion. I am willing to fly to Krakow and go to the border of Ukraine to volunteer and fight and die. Can I be the example? We must win, Root said in an ex post in March 2022, according to the New York Times, which also interviewed him. AFP interviewed Root in Kiev in April 2022 while he was taking part in the demonstration in support of Ukraine's trap in the port city of Mariupol. Putin is a terrorist and he needs to be ended, so we need everybody from around the world to stop what they are doing and come here now, he told AFP at the time. The United States has been in a staunch support of Ukraine since Russia invaded in February 2022. President Joe Biden will be replaced next January either by his Vice President Kamala Harris, who has indicated she will continue his policies of backing Ukraine, or by Trump, who would not say at the debate early this week whether he wanted Kiev to win the war. A 27-year-old man faces up to several years in jail for sedition after pleading guilty Monday to wearing a protest t-shirt that prosecutors say flouts Hong Kong's new national security law. Chu Kai-pong had already served a 3-month prison term for sedition in January for wearing and keeping in his luggage clothes and flags with protest slogans. On Monday, he pleaded guilty to 1 count of doing acts with seditious intent, leading to the city's first conviction under the new tougher law. One of the slogans on the clothing, Liberate Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Times, have been found to be capable of inciting secession in a separate court case. Chu was arrested for wearing a t-shirt with the offending slogan and a mask bearing protest phrases on June 12, a date associated with the huge and sometimes violent democracy protests in 2019. Chu told police he believed the slogan called for the return of Hong Kong to British rule. The court heard he chose the outfit in order to remind the public of the 2019 protests when the phrase was widely used by pro-democracy demonstrators. Convicted Chu following his guilty plea, Chief Magistrate Victor So added that 2 other offenses of failing to produce an ID card and philandering were dropped. Chu, who has been in custody for 3 months, will be sentenced on Thursday. Let's get into the showbiz happenings, and first we have some very unfortunate news. U.S. guitarist and singer Tito Jackson, an original member of the legendary Jackson 5 group and older brother of pop superstars Michael and Janet, has died at the age of 70, his sons said late Sunday. It's with heavy hearts that we announce that our beloved father, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Tito Jackson, is no longer with us. His sons, Toy, Terrell, and TJ, who formed the music group 3T, posted on Instagram alongside a photo of them with their father. We are shocked, saddened, and heartbroken. Our father was an incredible man who cared about everyone and their well-being, they said. Please remember to do what our father always preached, and that is love one another. We love you, Pops. Your boys, Ty, Darrell, and TJ. Family friend Steve Manning told Entertainment Tonight that Tito died of an apparent heart attack on Sunday while driving from New Mexico to his home in Oklahoma. Tito had recently been performing in Germany, England, and California with his brothers Maron and Jet Li as the Jacksons. Tito was an original member of the family group the Jackson 5 along with brothers Jack Lee, Jermaine, Maron, and Michael. After staying with Monton Records in 1969, they had a string of international hits in the late 1960s and early 70s, including I Want You Back, ABC, and I'll Be There. Younger brother Michael, who went on to solo superstardom, died in 2009 at the age of 50. Tito, along with his brothers in the Jackson 5, was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997 by fellow Mountain legend Dina Ross. According to his website, since 2003, Tito had been performing and touring on big blues and funk brand. In 2016, he became the last of the Jackson siblings to have a solo Billboard hit, charting with the single Get a Baby, followed by his debut solo album, Tito Time. His second album and the first Blue Ones, Under Your Spell, was released in 2021 and features special guests including George husband, son, Bobby Rush, and Stevie Wonder. Tito is survived by his three sons, his former wife, their mother. The rest died in 1994. And finally, in our local showbiz, Arjo Atayde didn't hesitate to shout out the pregnancy rumors haunting his wife, Mary Mendoza, clarifying that her past absence in the noontime show Eat Bulaga was due to them enjoying a couple's getaway. Atayde dismissed rumors of Mendoza's pregnancy during his Thanksgiving press conference in Quezon City when asked to clarify if the TV host is expecting their first child. Hindi po, we went on vacation for our first wedding anniversary, he said matter of factly. Rumors of Mendoza being pregnant made waves on social media when she was absent from the noontime show sometime in July, which coincided with the couple's first wedding anniversary. The actor turned congressman of Quezon City's District 1 also shared that he and Mendoza are busy with their respective commitments, and their recent gateways are rare opportunities they get to enjoy their free time together. And that is it for Cool News at 6. As always, if you have any news suggestions or feedback that you'd like to share, you can get in touch with us at tvhthephilippines.news@gmail.com. And until then, I'm Caro. We will see you later for more news headlines with Cool News Prime Time. Good afternoon. Not good afternoon. Good evening.